Hello, everybody. Welcome in. It's Laura from Tenacious Taurus Twin Flame Tarot, and this is going to be the weekly twin astrology forecast for the Twin Flame Collective. And what I want to say is we do got some very big aspects playing out this week. Today, on Monday, we do have Mars in Cancer forming a trine to Neptune in Pisces. Tomorrow is probably one of the biggest transits we're going to be experiencing throughout the year, and this is Jupiter entering into Taurus. And so I do feel this is likely expanding a lot of commitments, a lot of partnerships, our divinity, along with our home life. And as Jupiter enters into Taurus the following day, and while it enters into Taurus, Jupiter will be forming a square to Pluto, a T-square. And so this is going to complicate things a little bit this week. We also have the moon entering into Taurus on Wednesday, preparing us for the new moon on Friday in my local area. And so we also have the sun sextile Neptune this week, the new moon in Taurus, which is a big one. We also have Mercury sextile Saturn. And we also have Mars going to be entering into Leo on Saturday, nearing the end of the week. And then on Sunday, the sun is going to enter into Gemini. So we're just about ready to close out Taurus season. The sun will also form a trine to Pluto on Sunday as the moon enters into Cancer. And so I do feel we've got some big cosmic energies playing out this week. And so I do feel Jupiter entering into Taurus. This is the first time it's been in the home sign of Venus for about 11 years. And so if you can think back to about 11 years ago, what themes were appearing in your life when it comes to this expansive journey surrounding Taurus energy. And so I also feel this is bringing forward a lot of luck and expansion, especially when it comes to love and these twin flame connections and the connectedness that the twins do share together. And so with the new moon in Taurus, Mars entering into Leo, and Gemini season beginning, I think things are about to heat up, amp up, ramp up. So I want to ask you, are you ready for these positive changes? And so we had Mercury gestation direct yesterday. And then we do have Jupiter entering into Taurus, which is huge. And so Jupiter is known as the great benefactor of the zodiac. And so it is this expansive force, right? Jupiter comes to expand, good or bad, right? Good or bad. So you're really going to want to pay attention to where Taurus falls in your natal chart. And so if you have Jupiter and Lilith, it's going to expand these dark, shadowy aspects surrounding, I believe, materialism and greed. If you have, if you have your Jupiter and Taurus, get ready to expand when it comes to the realms of love, finances, beauty, and how you perceive your own personal morals and values. And so we've had the North Node in Taurus. It is closing out this summer. I believe it's shifting on July 17th into Aries. And so we've had all of these eclipses closing out this North Node in Taurus, South Node in Scorpio. And so this is going to amplify this activation, this expansion, and it will likely bring a lot of luck, but it's all going to be dependent on the work that you've done spiritually and where you're at personally for your own journey. And so it's going to be moving from Aries, which was about me, the self, into Taurus. And so this is a major cosmic shift that I feel the earth signs are going to be feeling, along with the water signs, I feel. When I think of Taurus energy, it is the home of Venus, which is the divine feminine goddess of love. It does speak of relationships, property, inheritance, finances, beauty, harmony. The Empress is all about creation. Taurus is the home sign of Venus, which is creation. And so with Jupiter in the sign of Taurus, this is supporting the twins in these areas within their life. And so I do feel this is a very positive week for the twin flame connections. And it is also going to highlight the people that we've been dealing with that have been very difficult or negative, and where we need to leave these past feelings behind us for the better, right? to embrace a little bit more peace in our lives. And so the energy is likely going to be a little bit more open. And I do feel we're going to just get rooted in this very pleasant Venus energy coming up here. And so what I want to say to you, Divine Feminine, is any new business projects that you've been working on, I do feel the blockages are kind of easing up, and there's going to be more forward movement and flow for you. But I do feel this is a deep, deep spiritual test for many of the divine masculines as Jupiter enters Taurus, because it's going to be forming a T-square with Mars and Pluto. And so this is going to create an intense atmosphere of tension and aggression. You think of Taurus, you rock the bull, you get the bull going and the horns are going to come out, right? And so with Jupiter in Taurus squaring Pluto in Aquarius, this is going to create a lot of tension and conflict, because both of these are fixed signs. And so the conflict is going to be arising between material growth and transcendence and transformation. And so we're going to be having our buttons being pushed this week and challenged in order for, I feel, many of the divine masculines to look deeply at their personal values, what their goals are, and what their spiritual beliefs are. And so I feel a lot is coming up into question when it comes to familial patterns, and whether this is a reflection of our highest truth, or does it keep us rooted in these negative cycles. And so I do feel a lot of heavy opposition, especially since Pluto is now retrograde. And so the energies are working for us, not against us. And so if there is a lot of unresolved issues, I do feel you're going to be feeling this need to go within to look at all of these internal imbalances so you can return to a state of harmony and peace. And so our outer world will always be a reflection of how we feel inside. And so love is in focus this week. And so I do feel we've all been going through this very cathartic detoxification, spiritual detox, from all of these negative emotions that we've been carrying, all of these negative people that we've been connected with, and all of this unconscious energy coming to light. And so all of these karmic patterns are coming up to be addressed. All of these outworn karmic soul contracts are going to be particularly highlighted this week, and where we've clung to control or to hold on to something that really isn't meant for us, just out of fear of that finality, and not really knowing what's on the other side. And so I do feel the feminines coming through very strongly this week in the masculine's dream space. And so a lot of this purging does commence unconsciously to bring that into our conscious awareness. And so Jupiter in Taurus, I feel, is here to tell the twins that there is real abundance in the world. But abundance is always going to be a reflection of our own value and what it is that we've chosen to create for our life. And you think about it, right? A lot of people will win the lottery or receive a large inheritance of money, and within a couple of years, they're going to end up broke and miserable, right? Because they haven't done the inner work of their self-value. And when we come from a rooted place of happiness and we are accomplished, even if we don't have a lot of money, the money that we do have is going to be a reflection of the value that we have created in this world. And so money really isn't something that we win. It's something that we create, right? And so I feel there's going to be a breakthrough when it comes to our beliefs on finances and money and abundance and our self-worth. And so this is a week of breakthroughs, which are likely going to be very liberating for many of the divine masculines, because when we understand our relationship between the value of our creation and abundance, we know what steps we need to take to create more abundance in our life. And this is all an expression of our spiritual talents and our spiritual gifts. And so what I want to say is we can all learn a lot about money and abundance from a Taurus. So if you know a Taurus out there, let me tell you, they are very hardworking, and so the Taurus energy can be very paradoxical, because Taurus is considered very hardworking and at the same time lazy. And so Taurus is hardworking. Let me tell you, I follow everything through to the bitter end. And so Taurus is likely and probably the very most hardworking sign of the zodiac. And so Taurus is the archetype of the cash cow, right? And it is a generator when it comes to human design energies. And so Taurus also has common sense, and Taurus really doesn't get duped into overgiving, so they don't burn out like a Virgo does. And so I know all about the Taurus Virgo energy because I'm a Taurus sun and I'm a Virgo moon. And so I mastered my moon energy a couple of years ago. So I don't overgive, I don't over deliver. I trust in the flow of energies, and I know when I need to take a break so I don't burn myself out or get trapped in this rat race, right? I'm not in this to get to the top. I'm not in this to be the best at all costs like a Capricorn would do, right? And so Taurus works hard as long as it means something to them, right? Like you usually don't see a Taurus that isn't a hard worker, right? And so, but Taurus likes to work for something that makes sense to them and that makes them happy. We like to enjoy the fruits of our labor, the fruits of our hard work. And so Taurus is actually pretty simple. We're very natural and easy with the way that we approach our life. And so, pardon me, with Jupiter and Taurus, I feel this is going to affect the society as a whole, our society as a whole. And maybe more people will start to approach life like a Taurus the bull would, right? And so ask yourself, what can you learn from a Taurus? And how can you take more of a Taurus approach when it comes to the value of what it is that you create? And so I do feel the masculine twin is going through a major ego disillusionment for this evolutionary process, especially with Pluto retrograde, Mars and Jupiter in this T-square playing out this week. And so I do feel the masculine is particularly blocked at this point in time, facing a lot of planetary challenges. And this is the week for him to reorder and restructure and to transmute all of these ego triggers that are arising to step into this higher evolution. And so with Mars also entering into Leo, this is going to trigger a lot of blow-ups and maybe even some tantrums, some ego tantrums over the coming weeks. What I find very interesting, we're going to have Venus in Cancer, water, and we're going to have Mars in fire. And so for my own personal journey, my counterpart has his Venus in Cancer, and I also have my Mars in Leo. Find this very fascinating. But I do feel Neptune is kind of supporting these transitions long term. And so all of these challenges in this period of time over this week, over the coming weeks, are kind of designed to push the masculine to release these karmic ego patterns and all of these oppositional energies that they've been playing into. And so I do feel get ready for a lot of aggression, projection, rage, and ego releasing. And so these are coming through at an extreme level. And so we got to understand why we're feeling this way at a soul level. And we're being asked to release these old negative patterns stemming around anger, rage, aggression, and all of these outdated ego foundations. So I do feel the masculine is going to be very triggered over the coming weeks. And so we close out the end of the week with the Taurus new moon, which is one of the other big shifts playing out this week. And so this is where we're given an opportunity for a new beginning. Taurus is commitments, foundations, institutions, governments. It can mean weddings, funerals, even if you think of the Hierophant. And so with Mercury now direct, with Jupiter in Taurus, we're going to have the sun in Taurus and the new moon here. We're going to have this massive Taurus stellium going on collectively. And so this is the start of a new chapter in many ways, is how I see this. And so if you're not where you want to be in this relationship with your twin flame, how can you set those intentions to help you focus on what it is that you want to manifest in these energies to reach your ideal goals? And so this new moon in Taurus is an energetic reset. It is the perfect time to set those intentions for these new goals. And so it's basically goal setting. And so goal setting is no different than like this art of creating intentions. Any thoughts we put out into the universe is creating an energetic intention. And so when we send that out and we are aligned to our soul's blueprint, and we have cleared all of the subconscious mind, we are now stepping into creating consciously. And so the universe, our guides, will provide us the map to get to where we need to go. And so we're no longer going to be randomly creating these karmic situations to repeat over and over again, because now we are in the energy of creating consciously. And so we kind of got to give the universe the intention of what we want to return to us. So really pay attention to your thoughts. What you send out there will always come back to you. So if you're projecting anger, fear, and rage onto another, that is going to come back to you. And so what are your goals over the coming year? Where do you want to be in a year from now? What do you want to bring more into your life of? Where do you want to enjoy more out of life? And what is it that you need to release and clear from your current experience to step into what it is that you do want? And so this is a really good week of journaling and writing down what it is that you want, and to actively clear these blockages and these deeper issues when it comes to anything that you are unhappy with. And so that's when positivity shows up, when you stop deflecting all of these issues. And so this is a powerful lunar cycle. What I want to say is you don't want to let this opportunity slip you by, especially with Jupiter and Taurus. It's on the twin side this week. And so this is also a time of sowing the seeds of your manifestation, if you've been on the path for quite some while. And so I do feel, though, with the sun entering into Gemini at the end of the week, this is going to create a lot of Eight of Swords energy, a mental trapping. It's the Eight of Swords. And so our thoughts, our communication, and our learning are going to take center stage, the mind, the thoughts. And Gemini is the energy of the magician, Gemini and Virgo. And so this energy is here to remind us of just how powerful our words and our thoughts and our minds are. We are incredibly powerful when we harness our subconscious, conscious beliefs. And so once we set an intention and we get out of our way, then it can kind of show up. But if we keep assuming and keep affirming, and then if we, in the back of our subconscious mind, keep telling ourselves, no, it's never going to happen, it's never going to happen, it's out of my reach, I'll never reach it, then that's going to be coming back into focus right now for clearing. And so Jupiter's here to support us. But we have to listen to our inner compass, our inner voice. And so what is it that you're being asked to no longer bother with on your life path? Why do you think that this connection cannot work out? Because oftentimes as we're growing up as children into, our adolescence and our adulthood, we're told to not daydream, to not fantasize, to not imagine, and that this creative part of us, of our inner child, is kind of like a waste of time. And so a lot of us are raised to be realists, and so this is a veiled perception of feeling safe, and then it perpetuates these cycles of pessimism, depression, soul suppression, and grief. And so is it realistic? Is it logical? Because we cannot keep expecting everything to remain the same, or it will keep going badly. And so are your thoughts on your side is a good thing to ask yourself. So claim back your power, listen to your heart's desire, and don't let anybody know your business. Wish for it, focus on it, and then create the changes to make it happen. And so I do feel things are heating up for the masculine twin, especially with Mars entering Leo and the sun moving into Gemini. And so things will heat up over the coming weeks. And so this could go one of two ways, right? It can be exciting. You might like unexpectedly hear from the counterpart who might finally be brave enough to reach out, even if it's just for the passion, right? But I do feel fire and air coming together. You mix air with fire and we're going to fan that fire, right? And this can lead to a lot of drama. when it comes to ego opposition. So especially within Leo energy. So pay attention to where Leo is at in your chart as well, because this is all stemming around inner child wounds, all of this drama. And so Divine Feminine, you're going to want to keep your cool. You're going to want to stay centered and grounded over the coming weeks. Find a way to channel all of this energy productively into maybe some work activities. I see Sophia's in the background on the filing cabinet. But I do feel basically we have to understand why we stay focused on opposition and competition and power games within relationships, because we're really not dealing with our issues positively. And then all we do is keep playing into this negative programming. And all we keep doing is recreating this trigger when it comes to our inner child wounding. And so that's not who we really are deep down inside. But I do feel a lot of childlike tantrums over the coming weeks. And I do feel the feminine is still kind of transmuting the ghosting. What's the reason for the ghosting when it comes to these relationships, right? But I do feel Gemini is bringing a balance to the ghosting. It's really saying, hey, it's time to open up the channels of communication. But the communication coming through might be very ungrounded, very egoic, because this really is a stressful time for the collective. And I do feel a lot of higher chakra activations. And so a lot of the masculines ghost because of a throat chakra blockage. And this is also where the feminine learns to speak her truth. And it's almost like the feminine has to unblock the throat for the masculine and speaks the words that the masculine is unable to speak due to the higher soul contract of the vow of no communication, just kind of like the feminine takes the vow of celibacy until union. And so go into the shadow side of Gemini if you can this week, because Gemini does represent the sign of the twins. Gemini can be very restless. I understand that. I'm a Venus in Gemini. Gemini can overplay stress. They can overanalyze because it is an air sign. And we might find a hard time seeing through the forest, right? Are we out of the woods yet? Are we out of the woods? And so it's all about perspective as well, and a balanced perspective at that with the Gemini energy. And so this really can be a week for deepening these connections when it comes to intimacy and the passionate side that the twins do share for one another. I do feel there's going to be a lot of Kundalini activations this week for the twins as well. And so go within, resolve any of your inner imbalances, your inner childhood issues. Anything showing up on the outside that we don't want in our life is there as a reflection of something we need to purge internally when it comes to our wounding and our issues. And so I do feel we're not here to push. We're not here to chase on the outside. The answers are always within. And so go within. If you'd like some help this week with maybe booking in a reading, I would like to get that booked in for you. But let's jump in with a few cards and see what's coming through for the twins this week. So conflict is stemming from past life karma. And the divine is really working hard to bring us what it is that we've asked for. So do get ready for power struggles. You're likely mirroring your counterpart. So if you're all of a sudden getting triggered out of nowhere for no reason at all, it's just this internal, like, what is going on? That's the mirroring image of the counterpart going through this past life karma clearing and the disillusionment. So we're going to start off with some twin flame oracle messages today, and we'll see what we can expect for the twins for the upcoming week. I figured I'd do a change of scenery and film upstairs again today. So we are preparing to shift out of difficulty. There is that mirror self I just talked about. So any major conflicts this week, we are going to be reacting to each other's energies as we go through this alchemy of heart. And so self-love is going to be key in the energies this week. And so our intuition and our free will, I feel, are kind of playing out. And so send out the energetic invitation to the counterpart and get grounded. Get grounded. I want to say get ready to embrace a miracle this week, because as the feminine achieves this level of wholeness and the balancing of the inner feminine and the inner masculine, this is creating a shift in the masculine of overwhelming fear. He's needing to release these doubts about coming together and opening up to love, because there's a major change in the wind and we are shifting at a difficulty. And so major shifts are coming. We're in this massive gateway portal for union. And so how can you offer forgiveness to the counterpart and try to see the innocence in everyone involved when it comes to this very painful, traumatic cycle that we've been working on closing out for several years? So there are a lot of galactic downloads. The collective has been receiving an abundance of light code activations, bringing this into our conscious awareness. And I do feel the masculines are awakening and becoming conscious of their infinite light. So do you have room for the counterpart to arrive? Create that space is what I want to say, Divine Feminine, because ultimately there is love. And I do feel there's a lot of telepathic communication. I do feel the masculine is trying to reach the feminine telepathically. I also feel the feminine is telepathically coming through in the masculine's dream space, as all of this past life karma likely gets resolved in dream space. And so all of these current challenges are related to these old familial wounds and patterns, and from past life karma that we have shared together and with these karmic soul contracts. And so how can you find your center and inner peace and stay in that balanced state when it comes to all of these astrological transits and cosmic energies that are kind of pushing the twins and supporting this movement forward? So we'll jump in with the spiritual journey oracle deck, disconnecting and heart opening. And so I do feel a massive heart chakra activation, a higher heart chakra activation. And so if the masculines are blocked in the heart, they're going to be blocked in the throat. So a lot of these masculines have been operating out of the lower 3 chakras of the solar plexus, of the power, struggling, controlling dynamic, which is basically the 3rd dimension, the 3rd chakra, into the 2nd dimension, into the sacral, which is all about lustful desires. Sacral is where we house our emotional pain as well. And then the base chakra, which is all about our security fears. And so the heart opening will allow the upper chakras to clear. And so major heart chakra activation. The masculine is going through a heart awakening, a heart opening, and all of this love is kind of filling his heart with forgiveness. And so I do feel the masculines are in a much needed reprieve, taking time alone, healing and rejuvenating at this time. So we'll see what else needs to come through for the twins for the week ahead. Dreams. So yeah, pay attention to your dreams. You are encouraged to keep a journal by your bed, a dream journal, because spirit will convey messages in dream space, and they might not make sense at first, dreams. But guidance from spirit is coming through in dream space. And then we get the divine timing card. And so all is happening according to universal divine time. It's kind of like a tower energy. The divine timing is a tower energy. And so there is a tower coming this week. Divine says, hey, it's time for the tower to come in. There's major, major life changes ahead. Embrace this change for expansion, because there's major change coming no matter how this comes in with your own personal journey. This change is a gift for evolution. And so spirit's like, hey, this tower's coming in because we can't keep holding on to something that we need to let go of. And so if the masculine is still holding on to the karmic cycle, or a karmic lover, or a karmic job, or an addiction of some sort, this tower is coming in for this change. Any elements that can no longer remain. This includes negative karmic contracts, people, behavior, circumstances. This all has to be purged. This all needs to be released. And so how can you, Divine Feminine, just surrender the need to control so the universe can come in and do its job, right? And so I feel meditation is really going to serve many of us well this week. Daily meditation allows us to calm the mind first and foremost. And I know a lot of people say, I can't meditate, it's so hard. But it's the process of beginning the meditation practice, right? And it is hard at first because it's very difficult to quiet the mind. And so usually when we begin meditation practices, the mind doesn't want to shut off. And so we have to allow the thoughts to flow through us without attaching to them. And so as we quiet and calm the mind, then the channels of communication to spirit can be wide open. And so I always do encourage a daily practice of meditation, and it does allow you to kind of recenter yourself. And there's many forms of meditation. But I do feel the masculine is awakening to being a powerful light worker, a powerful human being on earth that is capable of creating real change and shining this light on humanity. So take some time this week to care and nurture for yourself. Make some healthy choices. Watch out for anything that's an unhealthy habit, because we're going through a major ego dismissal this week. So let's jump in with some tarot and see what needs to come through for the twins. Well, we got the Seven of Wands upright and the Hermit reverse. There's that Virgo energy. This to me feels like coming out of the spiritual closet, coming out of hiding, coming out of introspection, coming out of a period of meaningful solitude. So the masculine might be ready to step into the spotlight, to be that example for others, maybe to step into spiritual mentorship. I do feel a period of self-discovery is coming to an end. And I do feel the masculine is getting ready to come out of hiding, because he's ready to stand up for himself, his beliefs, this connection. And he's trying to find his confidence to challenge all of those people that have kind of been coming at him. So the masculine's on guard this week is what it feels like. But he's coming in for healing. He's coming in for wish fulfillment, Virgo, Aquarian energy. And so we have to have faith that a miracle is around the corner. I do feel our dreams are about to come true with Pluto in retrograde. It is the water bearer energy with Aquarius energy here. And so we are reaching the end of these challenging times. I feel like I could sneeze. We are reaching like the light at the end of the tunnel is what I want to say. So that was like a throat chakra clearing of some sort. So have faith that the masculine is preparing to come out of that hiding state. So we're going to do 5 cards and anchor them down, and we're going to see what's coming in for the twins for the week ahead. Oh, look at that. Ace of Wands. So this is an amazing, lucrative opportunity, but I do feel both of the twins have to be bold, courageous, brave, optimistic. Now is the time for action when it comes to this passionate new beginning is how I feel. So let's see what's going on here. We get the Release in reversed, anchored down by the Two of Pentacles. Ooh, we get the Emperor upright, anchored down by the Ace of Cups in reversed. Wow, that's a huge confirmation of the masculine going through a heart activation. We get the Empress in reversed, anchored down by the Knight of Swords. The Ten of Cups, anchored down by the Hierophant. This is our happy marriage, our happily ever after, emotional contentment, unity, working together in a spiritually minded community. And so this is stepping into a higher level of engagement. Our love life is ascending. The Wheel reversed, anchored down by the Strength. Look at that. That's time's up. Look at that. We get the Seven of Pentacles in reversed on the bottom of the deck, the Queen of Wands in reversed, with the Four of Cups and the Seven of Wands with the Six of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles and the Three of Wands. And I got to keep going here, guys. And the Three of Wands with the Five of Cups reversed and the Seven of Cups reversed with the Two of Cups. All right, and then the Ego in reverse. So I'm not going to clarify anything today, but on the bottom of the deck is what we don't see going on behind the scenes, Divine Feminine, and there is a battle that the masculine is facing, I feel, with the Karmic Feminine, and so she's jealous, possessive, controlling. She doesn't want to let go. She's clinging to control. She's likely belittling, slandering. She's likely just raging out because she wants to control this situation. And the Seven of Pentacles to me says, hey, this was not a good investment. You've squandered a lot of time. For my own personal journey, it's been 4 years wasted in that dead-end cycle for my counterpart, missing the opportunity. And I do feel the Karmic is going to be this catalyst for this growth. And so there is a lot of unfounded worry and fear. The karmic does not want to let go. But what I do see is the masculine is getting a wake-up call. This karmic feminine is a catalyst, and there's that Leo energy playing out. We do still have Lilith in Leo. And so this is creating a lot of aggression. And so this is where the masculine stands up for this reunion. And I do feel he's definitely in a battle with the karmic who wants to have power and control over the masculine. But regardless, the masculine is defending this reunion. And so the karmic is a reflection of all of these childhood wounds, these inner child wounds. And so I do feel the masculine is revisiting the romance with the divine feminine, a lot of past memories, a lot of romanticizing about the feminine and building a legacy with her, a family, security, the happily ever after. And I do feel this is where the masculine takes those action steps to come forward with a confession. With the Three of Wands, this is about taking action. This is about facing the consequences of past choices, releasing the pride, and going forward, I feel, with a confession is what it feels like, or some type of exposure. But I feel the masculine is losing his mind. He's lost all sense of personal freedom in that karmic cycle. There's likely some type of embarrassing secret coming to light, whether the karmic had an affair, some type of cheating. This could be a confession of disloyalty. But I do feel the masculine is coming in with an honest confession about just how much he's been focusing on what was lost. And I do feel he's been working on forgiveness of self, trying to understand why he chose the path that he chose. Okay, now I got Panther all up in my flowers. The cats are like all up in the flowers. I actually got a couple of flower deliveries for Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day. Happy belated Mother's Day. I hope everybody had a good weekend. And then this confession is going to be leading to the Two of Cups. So there is the third party drama interference still playing out, but I do feel the masculine wants to resurge this relationship. This is the possibility of reigniting this love and falling in love again. But forgiveness is also going to be needed to end these challenges this week. So don't give up on the counterpart. I do feel this energy here has been a struggle, right? For the last couple of years, I feel the karmic has not wanted to release, has not wanted this ending to take place or this new beginning with the feminine to take place. And so she's been holding on, not wanting to release the masculine. And she's really held him back for the last couple of years. There's been a lot of juggling. There's been a lot of indecision. And I do feel this is all coming back into balance because the masculine is going through a major heart chakra purge over not valuing the feminine, I feel. I also feel he's dealing with somebody that really doesn't nurture him, that doesn't value him. This could be like a hidden affair coming to light. Maybe the karmic feminine has cheated on the masculine. But I feel a recognition of the loss of this beautiful emotional experience with the divine feminine, of this deep, deep romantic relationship. And I feel a heart awakening. A purging of the heart to awaken to these psychic abilities. These spiritual insights do come through the heart. The masculine might even be thinking about sending you a love letter, showing up at your door. But I do feel this is the start of building a new home life together. And so there's been a lack of action for quite a while. And I do feel the feminine could be coming into some kind of abundance or prosperity or inheritance of some sort that will further her creative projects to be even more successful. And this is creating a whirlwind of decision. This could also be a lot of aggressive communication. The Knight of Swords can be very harsh and brash and honest, though. But I do feel the fear of losing the feminine is creating decisive, focused, driven action, defensive action. And so there's likely going to be some type of karmic event or tower of some sort that's going to force the masculine to move towards the feminine with great speed and to respond to these challenges a little bit more logically and intellectually rather than just full on emotionally. And so there's going to be sudden unexpected changes when it comes to what's below the surface, which is these higher connections, these higher unions. And so I do feel this is leading us down the pathway to emotional contentment. The twins came here to blend families, to restore the loving relationship with our counterpart, with our children, to raise children wisely, successfully, and to build trust within the spiritual community. And so I feel the answers are coming as to which road is best. And I do feel the masculine is facing all kinds of delays and challenges when it comes to this fresh start. This could be a huge loss, total financial ruin, but it will lead to unexpected progress. And the masculine is going to have to find his personal power to assert himself. And so that's the Leo energy. And we assert ourselves spiritually through kindness and compassion. And that is also going to, I think, bring forward a realization of just how strong the masculine is in this emotional vulnerability. And so I do feel traveling towards the feminine. I do feel delays are, the karmic is trying to create delays, but the masculine is breaking free. He's breaking free from that entrapped illusion with the karmic. He's ready to take accountability and responsibility for what he's created, and he's getting prepared to make a decision that will support his path to happiness. And this is going to create balance. And so Sagittarius. And so the twins came here to blend this alchemical union, to bring all of these new spiritual ideas and concepts forward collectively, because we're here to create something new. And so I do feel this is a week of reaching some sort of successful compromise if the masculine can harness self-control. Definitely a wake-up call as to needing to return to the feminine, right? And so this is coming back to something that was walked away from, taking those steps to make these big life changes, definitely going through a major wake-up call. The wait is over. We're stepping into a whole new light, a whole new life, and we are expanding our dreams together. And so the masculine is coming back to see you on this spiritual quest, to have a conversation about the betrayal and squandering away wish fulfillment with you is what I'm feeling. And so the relief will come when the masculine finally gets this situation off of his chest. I do feel a confession. He's carried this silent burden for a very long time, and he's played into addictions. A lot of these relationships, they mask the disconnect by addictions, and they avoid the truth of just how unhappy they really are. So there's going to be some type of melodramatic ending here, melodramatic reaction, as the masculine chooses to return to what it is that he walked away from. He's getting ready to take inspiring action, Divine Feminine. He's getting ready to find his motivation to step into this leadership role with you, to step into the spotlight with you. This might even include public speaking, but this is a leader. This is somebody that has passion and goes after what it is that they want. And I do feel, yeah, he's been secretly watching you grow, face these challenges. He's been shifting his perspective, receiving insights, trying to figure out how to approach. And I do feel he's received new insights and new information that have been very challenging to receive, to process. But this is what is going to get him out of this blocked communication, is what I'm feeling. Yeah, the blocked communication, the burden of the blocked communication, releasing the burden of the blocked communication, because it's creating all kinds of issues, stress, anxiety, health problems. And I do feel coming in to right that past injustice. So there's going to be some very truthful communication. It's not going to come without having to overcome some obstacles, though. But I do feel the past injustice is being made right. And anybody that's not come from a place of integrity, what goes around comes around. So let's get a couple last messages with the Crystal Stone deck. I hear Sophia's meowing away. I'm not sure if you can hear her. Rose quartz on the bottom of the deck. And so this is where we need to learn to take care of our heart. A lot of these masculines are overly self-critical. They do love deeply, and they are here to step into the healing arts with the feminine. But I do feel they need to create a safe, sacred space for themselves right now. They got to hold their heart in their own hands. They got to show themselves loving kindness. And so I feel like a lot of these masculines feel like they got to do it all. They got to be there for everybody. They've got it all. They got to have it all figured out. They got to work hard. They got to hold it all together. And so that's an illusion. And so I feel a heart awakening, a heart opening, in order for the masculine to open up to spirit. So I do feel ascension when it comes to these past life memories and the spiritual armor that the masculine has had on. But I do feel returning on bended knee is kind of what it feels like for the masculine. So I'll get a few of these cards and we will close off the reading with some divine doorway messages. Rose quartz just come out again. That's the only one out so far. So he's deep within the depths of his heart chakra is what it feels like. We got just the rose quartz and azurite, guys. So azurites, speaking of exploring some hidden depths. And so the masculine's been very materialistic, vain, always craving the next best thing. And that's really not a judgment. We all can go down that pathway. Almost all of us have been down that pathway. I feel this is specifically geared toward the Leo energy. But I do feel the masculine's digging himself out of this grave that he's created, right? And so he's got to take that spiritual shovel. He's got to dig himself out of this prison of worry, this onslaught of indecision, and this desire that he's constructed around his life surrounding materialism and greed and all of these material pleasures that really aren't giving him a high or a buzz anymore. And so they need to take a break from all of these shiny things. And so that is also part of the journey, is losing it all. Because materialism and greed has no place in spirituality. And so the masculine needs to shake off this shallowness and to start fresh. And so he's diving deep into the heart. And there is a need for the masculine to protect his energy with the obsidian on the bottom of the deck. And so he needs to cut out these negative people, these negative patterns. And I do feel a lot of the masculines are dealing with a Scorpio of some sort, or somebody with a heavy Scorpio placement in their chart. For my personal journey, my counterpart's karmic is a Scorpio South Node. And so a lot of these karmics held the masculines in their pocket, and they were like this concealed weapon against the feminine and like a concealed weapon against the masculine. And all they do is perpetuate these bad vibes. And I do feel it just seems out of reach with the feminine, because all of these dark negative forces are at work, including karmic. And so the masculine's got to dig himself out of this. He's going to have to throttle back and find his way out of this very sharp-edged mess. It's kind of like a spiritual surgery going on. And I also feel an acknowledgement of just how connected the twins are. So we are very old souls. And so the masculine is coming out of a very long, dark winter period, stepping back into the sun. And so I do feel he's like reaching for you, grasping for like a metaphysical hug. And I do feel the masculine sees you claiming your success, divine feminine, which is also kind of putting him back in his place. So I do feel the calling, and the divine is saying the path you are on is not leading you down the right path. It's time to release these ego fears and to face all of this impeding, looming danger. And don't underestimate the kindness of the feminine is what I feel, because they're showing me sand through the hourglass. So time is of the essence when it comes to these connections is what I'm feeling. So we'll see what doorways are opening up for the twins. The Three of Cups. Freedom flows. The doorway of freedom. Third-eyed raven. So third eye activations. And then we get the deeper doorway. And so we're not quite finished this cycle yet. The masculine is not quite done closing out this cycle yet. He's digging deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And I feel the karmic is holding on, holding on, holding on. What I want to say is prepare for the unexpected. The three-eyed raven speaks of, the ravens, the crows, they caught out with news. It is a very spiritual bird. And so I do feel third eye activations. The masculine's been holding himself back from freedom, from going towards these big dreams and into this divine sacred union. And so with the Three of Cups on this doorway, it does speak of a toast, a celebration is near. And so we're going through a very powerful spiritual passage, a spiritual rite of initiation right now. And we are walking through a spiritual passage of transformation. And so pay attention to the signs and the syncs, because this is about owning our inner power, commanding our spiritual strength, and to know that in any moments in our life, we truly have nothing to fear. And I do feel the masculine is longing for a cure. Divine feminine, he wants the love and the happiness and that spark inside of you. And he's going to choose to live deliberately. He's going to choose boldly, because he sees that you have arrived to a state of wholeness. And so can we forgive and forget? Forgiveness and forgetting is a ritual of spiritual cleansing of all of these past pains and these past lies. And so the masculine is getting ready to rise like the phoenix through this awakening process, because it is destiny for these unions to be birthed. And so as one door closes, another door opens. And so let destiny unravel the truth this week, because we are in the gateway of birthing this new life. And this is bringing forward the unfoldment of all kinds of blessings towards the twins, leading to fortune. And that's kind of what I've got for the week ahead, guys. I hope this helped. I hope this resonated. If you would like to book a personal or a soulmate reading, I still have my sale on. My sale will continue until the 31st. Keep an eye out. I'm getting ready to post my first ever tarot class course. It will be a 6-week online course via Zoom, and we'll do this 1 day a week. I am still trying to figure out which day of the week is going to work best for my schedule and hopefully everybody else's, and it's going to be 1 hour, 1 day a week for 6 weeks. Total cost of $111, and so I'll get all of that information posted in the next couple of days, and you will be able to register via email. So reach out for that if that's something that interests you. I hope you all have a wonderful week ahead, and I look forward to seeing you all again next time. Thank you.